We're doing good. He had his first tournament yesterday, Saturday and Sunday.
How'd it go?
Uh, he did well. His team struggled a bit. He had on Sunday was the loser go home game. He had the only hit of the team and the only RBI for the team. Smacked it out to center field, and we were looking at the video. If it would have gone right a little bit to the left of the center fielder, about 5 feet, it would have rolled to the wall, and he would have had a double. So it was a good hit. Yeah,
So
yeah, he blasted it.
was he hitting a little harder?
Yeah, I mean he's hitting it like that's the hardest hit I've seen. It was straight away, like almost the center. It started tailing off, to the right, and I was showing him was like, man, 5 feet, even 2 feet to the right or more. I said it would have rolled to the wall and it would have been your first double of the season right off
Yes.
the bat.
That's good,
Um,
man. Man,
yeah,
I wish he would have found the hole.
yeah, I
Cause
know.
cause then you could talk about how he hit the double, you know?
He almost got it there. Yeah.
All right, so we won't
But,
take too much time, but I just want to do a little quick like case study.
mhm.
So first off, tell me about Dodge before when we first started. His X velocity was 48, I believe, and what was his goals? Can you take us back there so we can start from the beginning?
Yeah, so definitely. So we came to you, found your program through online, and looking at it, we wanted to increase his exit velocity, to have him hit more doubles. He's a very consistent hitter, just wasn't getting the I guess the results as far as the power area that we wanted. So, like you said, it started about 48 miles per hour, was consistently following your schedule, and was able to bump it up. I think we were at 55 miles per hour over the
Yeah.
course of those 6 weeks. So bumped it up a good amount. And yeah, I mean, he seems to be hitting stronger, more confident in his swing, and he's just standing there and ripping now. So we're just waiting for those doubles to come to show up now.
They're
So
gonna show up. They're gonna show up.
yeah, yeah.
Tell me about the first week. So the first week we focused on bat speed, and
Mhm.
it was also the week where we got the baseline numbers, where he got 48 miles per hour. And from what I've seen, he gained 1 mile per hour that week. Can you tell me,
Mhm.
for him, when I looked at him and you guys, and this is a credit to you. Um, he was the first person to post in the group. He was recording himself doing all the core workouts. I mean, he is super determined, and it inspired me because it reminded me of my younger self. So, talk to me about him and his goal, and why he was so dedicated in this program.
Yeah, he's a super dedicated kid. Anything he puts his mind to, he's going to work for. And so when we came across this, when you started going through the chart of where he had to be to get that exit velocity for those doubles and that power, it really motivated him to, you know, get in there and start the program right away and start following your program there. So I think that first week was more of just kind of getting those mechanical issues, not the mechanical issues, I would say, but the mechanics of what your swing approach was for him to establish. And that's when we started seeing that increase in velocity.
Yeah, he went up 1 miles per hour. Was he
Mhm.
excited about that?
Oh yeah, yeah. He was, and we told him that was the goal that you had set too on the schedule is just at least 1 mile per hour per week, and he hit that, and then he was excited about it. Yeah.
So the next week we went into the swing. Now, I didn't do as much like swing stuff with you guys because we were trying to focus on getting the doubles, and we were trying to get those
Hmm.
exit velocity as high as I possibly could because I knew, the big thing about hitting doubles and hitting extra base hits is how hard you actually can hit the baseball. So you
Right.
need to get that exit velocity as high as we possibly can. So we were focusing on
Hmm.
that. But the next week, he actually jumped 3 miles per hour. So can you talk to me about like why and what you guys did that week?
So again, we just followed that schedule, and I think he was more intent on putting I guess having more intent to increase that himself. So he kind of unlocks some inner power as well, as far as he sees that it was working. So, hey, I'm going to do this. He did the workouts, he did the drills. And then when he went in that week, he was just swinging for the fences, hoping that to see that increase. And it definitely did increase there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The next week we were focusing on the lower half. Now I know you guys went to the field and was hitting off it, and I gave you a little boost about, or actually a little tip about focusing more by the second base so that he start hitting it
Mhm.
over, and that helps also the swing, and it helps him use his lower half. He jumped up 1 mile per hour during that week. Um,
Mhm.
what? Tell me a little bit about that week.
Yeah, that week. So we did go to the park. That week was a little bit windy. It was the first time we kind of went outdoors to do some of these workouts. And it worked. We again, I think originally we were hitting it from home plate. He was getting out to, I mean, at least farther than he was hitting beforehand, where it would drop. It probably hit, I think the fence was 190, and we were hitting it, bouncing at about 150, which
Yeah.
was farther than he had hit before. So then we moved him up to second base, and he was hitting, the wind was blowing to the left. So he was having a little bit of struggle getting him out. But I mean, he was hitting them, no problem, hitting the fence and hitting a few over. So it was just keep going, doing the pretzel drill. He was even trying the pretzel drill from that position, getting close to the fence and hitting the fence and getting them over. So yeah.
And then the next week we focused on hip shoulder separation. And that's kind of the last few weeks. That's what we've been focusing on.
Yep.
And you just basically touched on it, the pretzel drill and all
Hmm.
that. Tell me about that. Was I know it's a weird drill, but it does focus on getting like your, basically separation and the hip
Hmm.
shoulder separation that we need to drive the baseball. So talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed about his swing with him being such a smaller stature kid. I mean, I think he's 4'8" and 66 pounds, so he's not really the biggest kid on his
Yeah.
team. But what I noticed was he would just barely kind of coil in. So that's what we were focusing on that week, was to make sure, hey, we're feeling that pressure in the hip there, using our backside, keeping the weight on the backside, and then exploding on the ball. So that's kind of where we did it that week. We're focusing more on that hip and the shoulder separation.
Did that help with did that help him get a little bit more power?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see in his swing from this weekend when he hit it. I mean, it just, yeah, he kind of unloaded on that one. It looked good, better than what he was doing before. Like I said, he would hit singles all the time, but this one was a definite power boost that, yeah, something we haven't seen before.
Yeah, so talk about that a little bit more. Go into details about that. We're bringing it now up to current date. You just had a tournament last weekend, so walk me
Mhm.
through the at bats this tournament and what you seen from him. Because you just posted a video a few days ago, or was it last week? And his bat speed looked like it was flying through the zone.
Mhm.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so having his power go up and having him seeing that, his confidence boosted, way up, because now he knows in his head, like, hey, I can actually do this. I can see the results. So yeah, his swing is just rapid fire. And then, like we said, we had his first tournament, and first game he got hit by a pitch and he walked twice. And so second game is when he had his hit, and he bats second in the order. So a guy got on, stole stole second, stole third, and then by the time he was coming up for that pitch, he was locked in. I think the first pitch before that went over his head actually, so he kind of ducked down, and then he was like, okay, I'm gonna get this one. Stood in there and blasted it out, scored the run. So it was awesome to
Nice.
see. Yeah,
Tell me about the
confidence.
next day. You said that they got eliminated, but you said that he had an at
Mhm.
bat that you seen. And tell me from your point of view, were you excited when you seen it? Like, was your wife excited? Give me a.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We recorded it, and I mean some of the people in the crowd I have told about, or on our team I had told about, his struggles with hitting doubles, that he's been working on it, and they've been noticing during practice leading up to the tournament, and when they saw that the whole crowd was cheering for him, and you can see him on first base smiling that he got that hit. Um, like I said, a big hit for him. Powering it out to mid center field, pretty much. So
So was it one of the hardest hits he's hit in a while?
yeah, that was probably the hardest hit he's ever hit in a game, actually. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing.
The field was a little. It was a turf field, and the center fielder was right there. But like I said, if he would have missed that, I mean, he probably would have easily been on second, maybe going for three.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So from your point of view as a dad, watching him, he put in all this work, and then you
Mhm.
see in your first tournament him drive the baseball. Tell me how that felt.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was like night and day with his confidence, seeing him up there. I mean, he's no longer scared to like take on fast pitchers. We've been telling them like, hey, with your bat speed and let that ball come into you, the faster they throw, the better for you. Like with your bat speed up now. So he took it. That pitcher, like I think every other kid struck out at least once on that pitcher, and no one else had a hit except for Dodge. And
And
the
he
second
crushed
time he
it.
got walked again. Yeah. So
Amazing. So,
yeah.
have you seen his body language change on that fast pitcher? Did the other players seem like they were a little rattled that he was throwing fast? And like, how did
Uh,
he feel? How did he look?
Yeah, typically when that happens, when they have a fast pitcher, you can tell the team's a little apprehensive to stand close to the plate, and even take a good swing. Like usually they're looking at strike three, just watching it go by because they're too afraid to move. But yeah, Dodge, like I said, the pitch before he hit that, I think it went right over his head, and he just stood right back up, got in there, and just no fear. And it was, yeah, it was awesome to see. Exciting that his whole mindset shifted. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So this brings me to the question: were you happy with what we did?
100%. Yeah. If
Okay.
we weren't, if it wasn't for the fact that we're going to Vegas next weekend for baseball and then traveling, I said, yeah, we'd probably, but he's still going to do those weeks that we have. He's just repeating the program over and
Okay.
over. And he's constantly doing stuff on his own anyway. So he's incorporating the workout still and the drills just to try to increase it. So he's not stopping. There's no way. Yeah.
So if you had to talk to a parent right now, they're listening right now, would you
Mhm.
recommend the program to them?
Yeah, 100%. You know what you're doing. This program definitely works. We've seen the results, and yeah, we were just definitely happy with it. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Rodney. I appreciate you and Dodge putting in the
Yeah.
work, and I want to work with you guys and help. So if there's, him, if he hits a double, if he tries the baseball, send me
Oh,
video. I'm going to
I
be
will
posting it everywhere and sharing about
for
him.
sure.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna continue to work together, and I want updates and keep him rolling.
Will
Let's get
do.
him better. Let's get him to the next levels. You
Sounds
know,
good. Yeah.
perfect. Well, thank you
Appreciate
guys.
it. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.